Hey everybody, I'm going to paint a boat by the side of a lake today. So you're welcome to join me in painting along with me or just watch and enjoy. Thanks a lot. Okay, this one's a little bit trickier than some of my other paintings. So I did my initial sketch in pencil, but I knew that the viewer wouldn't be able to see it that well. So now I'm going over that with a pen. Okay, there is the front of the boat and side and bottom. Start working on the back. And here is the back seat. And here is the middle seat. And oh, it's tipping down a little bit too much. I'll have to fix that later, but hey, that's what you do with paintings. You fix your mistakes later. Just a simple shape of the boat. We'll add more detail later. Now I'm putting in a bush, some bushes here. Now these lines are going to be slight little waves in the water of the lake. So they'd be coming toward the boat and some trees in the background on the edge of the lake. There's our basic sketch. Add a little bit more detail to the boat. Now that I've got the basic sketch in, put a little bit of a curved line here where chain will be holding the boat. Now we're ready to start adding some paint. So I've got Pthalo Blue and Titanium White. I'm just gonna fill the sky in with simple straight blue. If you've watched other painting videos of mine, you'll see that that's often the way I get started. Just a simple straight blue. Come back later and add more detail, but right now this is just an undercoat. Same with the lake. Just going to try to get the whole canvas covered, and then we'll go back and start adding more detail. Don't add much detail in the beginning. Here's a couple lines where these waves are going to be. Just whipping them out there and doing them very simply. Not going to worry if they're perfect yet. I'll come back later and work on them. Okay, using some Pthalo Green and Cadmium Yellow, get the undercoat of some of these bushes and trees. Pthalo Green in the background. Pretty much straight Pthalo Green on the canvas back here. Phthalo Green in these bushes behind the boat. using the dark colors to make the boat stand out a little more. Okay, you've got yellow ochre and burnt sienna, which is reddish brown. Just going to do the undercoat of the ground around the boat. Now using some yellow ochre for the boat. Pthalo Blue, Titanium White to do the inside of the boat. Use that on the sides. Add some burnt umber in with these other colors I've got. Mixing burnt umber, which is dark brown, and white, and that's going to be used for the floor of the boat. Burnt umber and white. So we're just filling in larger areas now. We'll work on detail later. So now you can see I'm tweaking that middle seat, make it a little bit more parallel. Got some white. Using a very fine brush, putting in a little bit of detail here on the top edge of the boat. We'll just be defining the boat little by little as the painting develops. Okay, adding a little bit of lighter area to the top of the board, again adjusting it some so that the back board, the middle board, and that front section are a little more parallel. Just lightening up that board a little bit. A couple little details in the side of the boat. Some simple lines that show the floor of the boat. And that's our basic underpainting. Now, once again, as I have shown you in other paintings, I'm going to be using a clear glaze that is made from gloss polymer medium and matte medium, mixing it with phthalo blue. Make a glaze, so we'll just cover the whole painting. And someone asked me why do I do these glazes on my paintings. Well, it makes the paint underneath much richer, and some of that will show through, and it makes the whole painting have more depth to it. So even when we add color on top of that, it adds depth. So now I've got 4 colors here: alizarin crimson, phthalo blue, white, and yellow ochre. And I'm going to be working on the sky. Start working on the sky, just throwing in some little dabs of light blue, white. Just keep adding these little dabs, making cloud shapes. Make it a little bit lighter down towards the horizon, or tops of the hills. Vary the shapes. Some of them will be larger, some of them smaller. If you look up in the sky on a cloudy day, the clouds are all different sizes and shapes usually. They're not just one identical size. Adding a little bit of yellow ochre, a little bit of alizarin crimson mixed with white creates a pinkish color. Alizarin crimson and white make pink, and then yellow ochre and white. So the clouds, I am not painting just absolutely pure white clouds. I like to have a variety of colors even in the sky. So that's alizarin crimson and white, yellow ochre and white. This is just the first layer of the sky. We'll be coming back working on it more. Adding a little bit of light blue in here and there. Now start working on the lake, and you can see that I'm doing a number of horizontal kind of strokes, horizontal lines. Mixing in a little bit of alizarin crimson and white to reflect the clouds in the sky. Using a little bit smaller brush now to put in some color where these waves are. Little waves coming into the shore. And the lines of the waves echo other lines in the painting, like the lines in the boards of the boat. So that's one thing I really like to do in paintings, if I can find things to echo. Now I'm using Pthalo Green and Cadmium Yellow and Yellow Ochre. I'm going to start working on some of the trees and the bushes, making these lighter areas near the tops of the trees in the background. Obviously the skylight would be pouring down, so I think about, okay, what would the light be doing on the trees in the background? So there would be bushes and trees at lower levels as well as on the very tops of the mountains or hills. Just throwing in little various shapes and dabs that will give the impression of trees in the background. This tree to the left of the boat is a lighter shade of green, so just throwing in some yellow mixed with green, a little bit lighter. Mix in a little yellow ochre as well. It's that yellowish brown there. I'm going to make a little bit of light on the tops of these bushes over here. We will be adding much more detail to these bushes in the foreground. All right, there is burnt umber, yellow ochre, raw sienna, white. Doing a little bit of detail work on the boat, using a very fine brush. Adding a little bit of lighter colors to the seats. Now some yellow ochre, various mixes of yellow ochre and burnt umber on the sides. Very few things in this world are just one solid, pure color. Certainly not an old rowboat. It would not be a pure color. Okay, here's some of the floorboards on the boat. Now I'm using yellow ochre and I'm putting in a board that is underneath the top railing of the boat. See, I didn't put that in earlier because I just wanted to get the simple boat shape in first. Now I'm going to mix a little bit of phthalo blue and white to paint the inside of the boat. Lots of small strokes. Then I'm going to use this phthalo blue and I'm going to paint shadows coming down from the boards that are the seats of the boat. Now using Pthalo Blue to make some very fine edges here and there, using a very fine brush, just adding little bits of detail here and there. And I'm back to my brown palette. Yellow ochre, burnt sienna, burnt umber. There I have Pthalo Blue and burnt umber, which really makes almost a color like black when you mix them together. I want to really just emphasize a couple spots here. So you can see we started with really large shapes, and now we're just working on lots of tiny details. So now just going to sharpen the edge of the boat down here a little bit, some darker little spots in the bushes, darker edge underneath the trees in the background. Adding lots of little dabs and details. Want that side of the boat on the right to stand out, so I added that dark area in the bush. Burnt umber, Pthalo Blue mixing together to do branches in the trees. Burnt sienna, tiny fine brush to do some grasses and branches. So now it's just a matter of adding lots of tiny little strokes, lots of detail. Yellow ochre, I'm going to use that for doing some grasses in the foreground. Very fine brush, sweeping up with the brush. Going to make some light green grasses, yellowish grasses, just detail upon detail. Now making lots of tiny little dabs like little leaves on this tree with yellow and light green, very small brush. Just continue to work over the whole painting. Look around and say, okay, what does it need next? Looks like I need some alizarin crimson mixed with white to make some pink in the water to reflect the pink clouds in the sky. A little bit of light blue here. Like like I said a second ago, working on the whole painting at once, not getting hung up on any one area. Might work on the foreground a little bit and then go up to the background and then work on some leaves in the bushes. Now I'm adding a little bit of blue in the foreground, a little bit more work on the inside of the boat. I'm just adding a few little details here and there, and it's pretty much finished. So thanks for watching this. If you have any questions or suggestions or anything you'd like to share with me, I'd love to hear it. Thanks again for joining me and watching this or painting along with me. Hope you had as much fun as I did. And here it is.